Hey everybody, Joe Haygood here, aka mclazyj. We're back. You might have noticed we didn't have a vlog last week at all, and there's good reason for that. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. I will try to make this as minimally disgusting as possible. I guess that's the words I'm looking for. If you've watched any of my content over the many, many years that I've been putting stuff together, you probably know that I suffer from Crohn's disease. Pretty advanced case of Crohn's disease, although it's been controlled for the last several years, which is good. But I do have an ostomy, which is basically where the intestine comes out of the skin and is emptied into a bag. Sorry, there's no better way to put that. With that being said, and I should say before we go any further, and right in the middle of all this, if you are enjoying this content, please like, follow, subscribe. It really does help the channel. It helps us grow. It does promote the videos to a wider audience over time as people do enjoy the content. So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. If you're not enjoying the content, I did what I could. So, and I should say, like I said, 96 to 97% of you not subscribed. But I digress. When you have an ostomy, and in my case it's an illeostomy, which means the small intestine comes out. Yes, there are different kinds. There's colostomy, there's illeostomy. I believe there's also a urostomy, which is where the urinary tract comes out and empties into a bag from the bladder. But in this case, I have what's called an illeostomy. The small intestine comes out of the body and is emptied into a bag, which gets emptied on a regular basis into a toilet. With an ileostomy, because of how the food travels and how it's processed, you have to be conscious of what you are eating, because there are things that can clog up the works. Not so much constipation levels, but just foods that kind of bind together and start to slow the process of digestion down, or the process of moving. There are certain foods that are definitely you have to watch out for. Things like strawberries, things that have pits, seeds, that kind of stuff. Things that don't digest well. The joke is I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I don't eat a lot of fruits. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that a lot of those things are very fibrous and therefore don't break down very well when eaten, which means that they can cause blockage or backup or just a slowdown in the digestive process, which can cause pain. The thing I normally tell people is, like, all food kind of can cause me some form of discomfort. It's a matter of how much discomfort can you deal with before it starts to become an unbearable thing. And a lot of that comes down to very fibrous foods, foods with a lot of nuts, grains, that kind of stuff. You just have to be very careful with. So I do try to eat some vegetables when I can, but it is sparingly, because normally they cause me problems. Case in point, I have done this in the past. I've had okay success. It was not okay success this time. I had some carrots. I was trying to test my digestive tract. I was trying to switch my diet up a little bit. You might see in the upcoming days that my diet is going to change a little bit when I do my lunch streams, because I'm trying to cut some calories out as I work out and try to get back on track with my workouts. So basically, I ate a couple carrots. The carrots, as they came through, they did not break down at all. As a matter of fact, when they finally came out, they looked kind of like the little bits and pieces of carrots that went in. Really hard, really granular, and very fibrous. Again, I know it's disgusting. Sorry. This is the discussion we're going to have. Anyways, this started on Sunday. I started having some discomfort in the evening, but I thought, I have it sometimes. Things kind of get slowed down. They get a little sludgy and make me feel a little bloaty, a little crampy, and I figure, okay, we're gonna have a run tonight. It's just how it's gonna be. But I figured, okay, we'll come back to it in the morning. We'll see how it goes. The morning of Monday came on, what was that? Probably the 11th? Yes. And it was not good. It was really bad. I got to a point, I got dressed, I was able to get out to my car, but I was in a lot of pain. Just a lot of pain. I actually changed my bag twice while I was there, trying to see if it was like my bag was caught. Because you have to cut the ones I use, you cut a hole to fit the stoma, and you place it. But sometimes you might cut it a little small and it's snug. It can cause some discomfort. It can cause things to slow down coming out, because you're artificially shrinking the area that the intestine can grow and shrink. And anyways, after changing the bag twice, not really having any results, I'm like, all right, well, maybe it'll just feel better once I'm on my way to work. And I got in the car, I started driving down the hill, and the pain just got super intense. And I was like, okay, I can't go to work. I am in a bad way. But I was like, I don't know if I need to go to. I said, maybe this will just pass. It's just taking a long time to come out. But the pain just got progressively worse. I went from roughly a 6-7 to about a 10 within the next 2 hours. And I finally told my wife, I was like, I got to go to the hospital. She's like, well, you know what's wrong? I said, I'm pretty sure I'm blocked. I got a blockage somewhere. And a blockage can be a significant thing. If it's a structural blockage, which means that the intestine has inflamed itself to the point of being closed, it can be something where you might need to have surgery to remove it. It can also cause bacterial sepsis. You can have infections start to form. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. But you could also have what's called a food blockage, which isn't so much that your intestine is inflamed, but the fact that inflammation has occurred because you have this food that's wedged in there and won't pass. And that's what happened, basically. At the junction turn, so with an ostomy where it comes out of the skin, it would go into the stomach, and then it turns as it goes under the stomach lining, and then just, kind of proceeds through your gut back to the stomach, right? With an illeostomy, the small intestine coming out. So that turn, that little L bracket turn, was where the inflammation was happening and is where the blockage was forming. So, needless to say, I was in an excruciating amount of pain. And a strange thing, I hit an ER in a weird way, a very, very busy ER normally, where I don't know if they just had a lull in service, what. They managed to get me into a bed, go through triage, get in a bed in 7 to 10 minutes. They got me some pain medication in about 20-25 minutes. They gave me Dilaudid. I believe it's probably 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram per liter solution. And the pain medication definitely helped. If you haven't had Dilaudid, it's one of the greatest pain medications ever. It can be a mind fuck if you're not ready for it. And you need to make sure that your nurse pushes it slow, because if you push it in too fast, the head rush that you will get can actually be dangerous. Anyways, I don't know if, because I was in so much pain and I was tensing up and I was cramping really hard because of this, I don't know if it was making the problems worse. But I was able to, with the pain medication, you start to relax because it takes away the pain. And I noticed I started having food all of a sudden, probably about 20 minutes after the pain medication, just big globs and chunks of food starting to come out. And I was still having pain, because at that point, what you have to remember, think of it like, your clogged drain. You keep throwing more and more stuff in the drain, the clog gets worse and worse and worse. So in this case, I had this initial blockage, And everything was backing up behind it that I had eaten from the point of whatever, when I ate that food and it caused this blockage. Everything was behind it. And it caused all this swelling and bloating and irritation and pain. And so I basically had to work through this backlog of literal shit, there's no other way to say it, to get it out. And it was all coming very slowly. And so I ended up having to have more pain medication. They ended up admitting me because they were trying to figure out, hey, if this is going to be a surgical issue, is it going to be a gastro issue, is it going to be none of the above, all of the above? But after not eating for about 24 hours and waiting for a gastro lab test that apparently got canceled, then got rescheduled, then got canceled again, GI lab came in, we talked about it, and they were like, hey, well, I threw out the suggestion, what if I just try some soft foods, see how it goes, see if I'm having pain, because I've obviously had movement. I haven't taken any pain medications for most of the day on Tuesday, because they switched me over to morphine at some point, and I was like, I didn't want to do too many shots of that, because there's a point where it's like, if you're continuously taking your pain medication, it means you are not getting better, and it means they want to do more tests. I want to get the fuck out of the hospital. No nice way to put that. I want to get out of the hospital. So, I had a couple pain shots during the evening, but at 6:45 a.m., when I had my last shot, I was like, okay, well, I'm not feeling as pain at this point moving forward. And I wasn't. The pain was getting better. I was still distended. I was still tender. I was still sore. But it wasn't something where I was like, I need assistance of the medical kind to take this away. And that's a good thing. So everything is improved. Went home. I had a bit of a rough week. Was eating a lot of soft foods. Was kind of trying to take it easy. Trying not to eat too much. Trying to relax my stomach a bit. And just, be conscious of what was going in. And just kind of being real easy. I didn't really get back to like some solid foods until this past weekend. I did have like a burger. I had some chicken strips. Both of those went pretty well. So I was like, okay, these have gone down well. I haven't had issues. I feel good about my food content. And yes, like I said, the cramping and soreness that I was having, that's kind of gone away now too. So, long story short, that's what affected my my appearances with vlogs, with streams, with just about everything last week. Social media content, the works. I was in a real bad way. And yeah, they got me patched up in the ER, and that was a good thing. I was very happy to see this easing of my pain, because it really could have been a bad thing. Like, I really could have had a bad day. So the fact that they got me the medication and the stuff was able to move, it really did help me. So that's a good thing. And when the cruise is coming up, I was really starting to get worried. Like, I can't afford to have surgery right now. Like, I would have to cancel this thing. I would have to go through travel insurance and do all this stuff, and I don't want to go through all this. So being able to have this kind of clear up and just be kind of cautious. I'm being very careful about what I eat leading up to this cruise. I will probably be a little more cautious about what I eat on the cruise, so I can start going through the process. And more than likely, I will, for the first time, probably have to take some biologics, Humira or Skyrizi or something along those lines, for inflammation, non-steroidal inflammation. I think biologics, and I'm okay with that. For a long time in the past, I was kind of hesitant of wanting to do that, but I don't know. I think that it's at this point where it might be best for me to get back on some sort of treatment regimen, and maybe there is like a life I can lead without like feeling the discomforts on a daily basis of Crohn's disease. I think some of me is just a little stubborn and just been like, it's always been this way. And this is just what I'm used to, you know? So, anyways, that's where we're at right now. So, I guess I'll touch base on the other thing is, we'll just talk a little bit about cruising. So we're inside our 30-day window now. No, I still haven't decided on what I want to do with Faster Than Fun. I guess I got to do it sooner or later. I think we're roughly about 10 to 11 days away from check-in. Maybe a little more. Maybe it's 12. Maybe it's 13. I don't know off the top of my head. But, yeah, we're ready to do the check-in. I'm ready to put together. So we're going to have more travel content. We will have a lot of vlogs. We'll be doing kind of the same thing we did with the Scarlet Lady, except this time on the Firenze, obviously. We're going to go ahead and do, like, daily content. There will not be a day 0 like we did when we were in Miami the day before, because we're in our home port. Like, we're 60 miles away from the port of Long Beach. So we're just going to be driving there the day of. We will be up early. I know they tell you, like, I don't know what to expect with traffic at the port. I hear all these wide varying kind of like shit stories about, you know, you need to get there like hours ahead of schedule. Like if your embarkation time is like 11, be there at like, you know, make sure you're at the port by like 9, because you got to go through like an hour of port traffic to get into the garage, get parked, get this, get that, you know. So the plan is to leave early, get there with enough time to be able to park, kind of relax, not have to worry about like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Just get in there, you know, be able to park, no real pressure, you know, good time. Just gonna roll in, have plenty of time to get parked, get situated, not have to rush. Do like your passport check and everything before you leave the house. Got all of our documents printed, bag tags, all that good stuff. Make sure we have all of that. So when it comes time, when it is finally go time, and we're ready to, you know, get in there and do our thing, we're not having to wait for, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. We're ready to just go. Bam, bam, bam. You know, we got passports, we got boarding passes, we got this, we got all this good stuff. Here it is, bam, lay it down, lay it down, lay it down. So we're gonna go ahead and make this. We're gonna get this to work. We'll have everything ready to go, and yeah, we're just gonna have a ton of content. We're gonna be having our embarkation stage content. We'll have our discussions while we're driving. You'll get to hear from my son and his girlfriend if they want to be on the videos. If they don't, you might not hear from them. But, you know, we're going to get their input. I mean, look, I sit there like, oh, you know, we're not Virgin Cruisers anymore. We've been on a cruise. It's like, yeah, we've been on one cruise, okay? We're not professional by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to cruising, all right? And this is our first time on a Carnival cruise, second cruise overall, right? But it is their first cruise ever, so we are interested in seeing their, you know, what they think of it. This was something they chose to do as a graduation gift. We gave my son and his girlfriend a lot of options. You want to do a cruise, you want to go to New York, you want to go to here or there, you know, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go, right? And their choice was, hey, we want to go on a cruise. That was their big decision. They're like, yes, we want to go on a cruise. So, we picked a cruise. It wasn't too long because we weren't sure where they were going to be at with jobs and job searches and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want it to be something that was like 7, 8, 9, 10 days long. So we just went it's just a little 4-bender day, so leave Sunday, come back Thursday. And it's just going to Catalina, like we've said before, Catalina and Ensenada. And by the way, I don't know what we're doing in Ensenada. So if you have thoughts, if you have any ideas, anything like that, I'd love to hear it. I don't know anything about the port. I've never been to either one of these ports. I really haven't. You know, a lot of people say, hey, you live in California, you've probably gone to Catalina once. My wife has been to Avalon. I have not. I've been to Catalina, but I have never been to Avalon proper. I went to Camp Fox, which was on the other side of the island. It was nowhere near Avalon, so I don't have any frame of reference for Avalon. So it will be new to me. It will be an interesting thing to see for the first time. We will be doing a golf cart. We will be going around, and yes, we will be stopping at Vaughn's, because I know that sounds like the stupidest thing ever, but I want to go to the only supermarket that is on the island of Santa Catalina in Avalon, and that is Vaughn's. And fun fact, Catalina is technically part of LA County. So it is patrolled by the LA County Sheriff, weirdly enough. 36, 36 miles offshore, but it is part of the county of LA. It does have its own county resources. I don't know if they have a courthouse on the island. I believe they do. I also watched a weird video where I found out you can actually jet ski. There's a company, I believe in Long Beach or Seal Beach, that rents two-seater jet skis. Now you can do one person, you can do two people on one, but they ride a jet ski. They ride jet skis all the way to Catalina, which to me, that seems crazy. That seems like a crazy thing, to take a jet ski over that kind of open water. That is crazy to me. But yes, they ride jet skis all the way out to Catalina Island. That is the craziest thing I have ever heard. That sounds insane. Being on that kind of open water for that long, with God knows what the hell underneath you, that seems intensely crazy. But yeah, so our thing is to drive around the island, maybe get some little factoids in there and talk about it, go to the Vaughn's, go and visit all the little shops down there in Avalon, go to some of the lookout points and check those out. Just have, a nice casual morning into afternoon, have some lunch out there, just enjoy the vibe of Avalon and Catalina. And that would be kind of awesome. So, but then I said, Ensenada, I don't have anything. I don't know anything about Ensenada. The only things I really know about Ensenada is it's a city in Baja California. They have the second largest flag in Mexico on display. I believe it is the second after the one that is flown in Mexico City. And yeah, I just don't have any frame of reference. I guess there's a Senor Frogs there, maybe. That just seems like the default go-to. It just seems like a bad choice. I don't know. It just seems a bit weird to not really know what we're going to do. Like, I had enough time to plan, like, trips and content for the places we were going before. Like, I actually did research, and I don't know why I haven't sat down and done that same research. Like, St. Croix, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to rent a car, we're going to drive here, we're going to drive here, we're going to do this. Puerto Rico, these are the places we're going to go visit. We're going to go here, 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 and here. Like Dominican Republic, oh yeah, we're going to do this tour, and that means we'll get to go to here, 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 and here. So, we had all these plans at the stops we went to, and we didn't have any of that. We didn't have any of that for, I don't have any of that kind of reference for Ensenada, and I don't know why. It's not like it would be that hard for me to do some research, but I'm just an idiot and I haven't done it. I think it's because a lot of my thought process was, we're just gonna wing it and kind of maybe go visit the downtown area, do some shops, and then get some food, and just kind of tool around a little bit. I don't know how long we'll actually be in Ensenada, or if we'll get back on the boat to try to enjoy a quiet boat while we're there. I don't know. There are a lot of things that can happen. So, and I don't know how long our stay there's. I think we're there from 8 to 5, but I could be completely wrong on that. So don't quote me. But yes. So lots that we're going to get done for this one. Lots of content that we will be creating. So we will definitely have our travel there. Our embarkation day will be there. We will have our day in Catalina, our day in Ensenada. We'll be having food and dinner and enjoying all that stuff and muster stations because no one cares about that. And we have a day at sea that we'll just be wandering around doing dumb stuff and maybe catching some rays at the pool and stuff like that. And yeah, just having a good time. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see how Carnival throws down. It's definitely going to be a different kind of experience from Virgin. With Virgin definitely being more, it's definitely like you're not going to get water slides there and that kind of stuff. But that's not what you're going on a Virgin cruise necessarily for. You're going there for the experience of being on this kind of, health voyage and good food and just lots of classes and things to do, but just a lot of lounging that you can do as well while you're on that thing. So really looking forward to seeing what Carnival offers as a cruise line. And nothing, I understand this, and most people tell you Carnival definitely is a much more affordable cruise. They do nickel and dime you, it seems like, on more stuff, but overall, it is definitely a more affordable experience for us to enjoy. So, and like I said, for less than we paid for our 2 of us to go on Virgin, we've got 4 people with 2 rooms, and it's less. Now, granted, yes, I understand it's a shorter cruise. It's hard to compare that stuff, but still, it's like, hey, we've got balcony rooms. We've got, we've got 2 balcony rooms, and it's, it was very affordable. I want to say it was under $1,900 for 2 rooms, 4 people, balcony rooms. So take that as you will. But yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to put some more content and getting that stuff out to you guys. And just seeing, like I said, seeing the product that Carnival offers, seeing this, seeing a ship that's definitely on the larger side than what we were with Virgin. Now, Virgin ship was by no means a small ship, but its total passenger manifest was 2,774 people, I believe, at full occupancy, with another 1,000 to 1,100 in crew. Whereas this one, I think, is 4,000 people plus crew, which is kind of crazy. Because I'm like, holy shit. The amount of paying customers on this boat will be almost as much as the entirety of a Virgin ship, which is kind of very, very crazy. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to, seeing what Carnival has to offer, putting some more content together. It's been a while since we've had some travel content, so it's really nice to be able to just be like, yeah, travel content. So I'm really looking forward to that and putting together some new content vlogs, daily blogs from what we do on the ship, what we do when we're at locations, and yeah, just having a good time. So no drink package, no alcoholic drink package. We are going to do the bubbles package, so we get unlimited soda, but no cheers package. It's just so expensive, so expensive. We would never drink enough to make that worthwhile. But yes, this time we will definitely have a good time. We will have a lot of fun, and we will have some drinks, but it definitely will be on the more reserved side. And we do get a free bottle of wine with our dinner. We did buy a dinner at illeostomy for the first night, and for the 4 of us. So that'll be a nice dinner that we'll get to talk about as well and enjoy. So hopefully, you guys will all watch the content and enjoy it. And yeah, so until next time, thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody that's came by. If you haven't already, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and help it get into the rankings. I will be doing another packing video for this trip. You would say, hey, it's a 4-day cruise. How bad can it be? Trust me. Me and my wife are still each bringing a suitcase and possibly a carry-on. So, where are all my overpackers at? You know you're out there. You never know what outfit you're going to want to wear, so you end up bringing all of them to fit in there. I joke, we may not bring 2 carry-ons. We might just bring 1 for some stuff just to have while we're on the boat. Some rollover outfits just in case for some reason we have a bag that gets lost. We do have air tags in our bags, so it's a good way to kind of track. If you don't already, get air tags or whatever it is, tile, whatever you can do, depending on if you're Amazon or iPhone, iPad. Just a way that you can track your bag and you can kind of have that conscious feeling of knowing that it is on the boat. It was really nice to see when my bag went from over here to over here on the Virgin Cruise, and I could see it was like right under me, and I was like, okay, it has to be on the boat. If it's not on the boat, it's in the water, and that would be really bad. So definitely do that. Definitely get some air tags so you can track your stuff. Or you can be like us when we were flying back from Miami and our bags were already flying while we were stuck in Austin, and our bags were already on their way to California, and it was like, that makes me sad. We had to go through a whole process to get our bags when we got back into town. Oh, man. Anyways, thank you all for watching. We will see you on the flip side. Till then, bye.